Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. Today's video, I wanted to continue something I actually started a little while ago. I was doing my top 10 favorite European cities that I visited. I love visiting Europe. I've been there 3 times, even though I've only been to 4 different countries. But I've been to several different cities within those countries. So I just love talking about traveling, and Europe especially. I love traveling to Europe. And just want to talk about some cities I've been to that I highly recommend. Anybody wants to travel, these are some fun cities to visit. So today's city is number 7 on my list, my 7th favorite city, and that is called Hohenschwangau, which is in Germany. It's in the southern part of Germany, in Bavaria, as they call it. And yeah, I got to visit there in 2008 with my mom a little while ago, but definitely wanted to check out. And I'll talk more here on Jason the Old Millennial. Hello everybody, hope everybody's doing well here on a Thursday afternoon. And yeah, I want to talk a little more about I love talking about my travels in Europe. It's been so fun. If you go on my channel, I have a playlist of the Midwest Traveler, where I travel different places and I kind of vlog it. And I have a lot of videos when I was in Europe. In fact, back in 2023, my mom and I went through Europe, spent 2.5 weeks in Europe, and got some videos there. So I love traveling and doing videos and pictures and stuff like that. And yeah, I want to talk about city that we visited back in 2008. I put this number 7, though it is a really must-see, it's a must-see city to go to for one reason, really, and that is the Neuschwanstein Castle is it is the coolest castle I've ever been to. I love visiting castles in Europe. Of course, because they're very old. They're, hundreds and hundreds of years old, and maybe even longer, because we don't have castles here in America, because we came out after they stopped building castles. So it's so fun going through these old castles that kings and queens used to live in. Imagine what it was like back in those days. Castles and cathedrals are so cool. That's what I love about Europe. Anyways, but yeah, this is such a awesome castle. Definitely, if you go visit one castle, you gotta visit this one. And just show a picture. The only picture I've got, besides you've seen some pictures I put before, those are pictures that my mom took while we were there in Hohenschwangau. And there's 2 castles, the Hohenschwangau Castle and the Neuschwanstein Castle. And one picture I got here is my mouse pad. I bought this in Hohenschwangau. I use it as my mouse pad. But there's Neuschwanstein Castle. That's the newer castle that was built. And there's Hohenschwangau Castle, the castle that was there before this one. And I'll talk a little bit about that. But man, look how beautiful this area is. Yeah, they're both fairly close to each other. You can see both of them in one shot there. But you got the Alp Mountains there. Alp Mountains are so beautiful. There's a lake there. The hill, oh my gosh, the green hills. It's a beautiful sight, as you can see. See that picture and the other pictures I posted before anyways. But yeah, definitely. And I put this number 7. I almost would put this higher because it is an awesome castle and it's a must-see castle. I can't stress enough. If you go to Germany, you have to go see the Neuschwanstein Castle. It's so awesome. And it's so beautiful, that whole area. Bavaria is just very beautiful on its own. And there's other stuff to do down there. But there's really only one thing to do in this city, and that is go see the 2 castles. So that's why I put it at number 7, because the other cities I have higher, there's more stuff to do, more time spent. I only spent like maybe 2 days, one night. I think we traveled all day, got there, spent the night there, and then the next day we just spent visiting the 2 castles, and then maybe spent one more night, and then we traveled somewhere else. So I only spent, mostly just one full day in the city. But man, I'm glad we did. Yeah, so a little bit about Hohenschwangau, which Schwan is Swan. I think Gau is district, so I know it's like the Swan district. and they're all swans there. If you go by the lake, you'll see swans, and swans are so beautiful. I do love that when I see swans, because you don't see swans walking around in Kansas unless you go to the zoo. That's probably the only place you'll see a swan. But that's so cool being around swans. You know, they're really beautiful animals, and go, wow, look at that. And I think I took some pictures as well at one time. But yeah, I think the Hohenschwangau Castle has been there longer. And I think it's called that because there was some knights way back in like the mid ages, maybe, that are called the Swan Knights or something like that. And that's, again, probably because there was a lot of swans in that area, and they're called like the Swan Knights. And they built this castle, Hohenschwangau, and then they built this in the city. It's called Hohenschwangau, and that's Hohenschwangau Castle. Anyways, and it was more of a summer home from what I'm reading, for this king called Maximilian II, and this is back in the 1800s, basically. And he had a son, Ludwig II, and that was kind of their summer home. They also lived in a town nearby called Fusen, and they had a castle there. And so this was like their summer castle. And again, I showed it. It's more of a yellow castle, as you see there. Much smaller than the newer castle that they built. Yeah, and you can go visit both castles, of course, in the same day because they're so close to each other. And I think, I can't remember if, I don't think there's a dual ticket. There might have been a dual ticket to go see both. I can't remember. Neuschwanstein Castle is definitely one of the biggest tourist places you'll ever see. Tons of tourists in this area. As you see, it's not a very big place. You see some of the town there. And you have to buy like ahead of time. Like if you ever go, definitely buy the ticket well ahead of time, because there's going to be a long line of people. And you buy a ticket, and the ticket tells you what time to be there. So yeah, so it's interesting. You have to buy the ticket, and it'll tell you, okay, you're going to see the castle tour on this day at 2 p.m. or something like that, whatever it is. And you have to be there at 2 p.m. or you just don't get to see it, and you get to lose out on the ticket and how much it costs. So definitely be there way ahead of time. Make sure you get there way ahead of your scheduled time to be able to get in, because you want to get in for sure. But anyway, Hohenschwangau, still a pretty cool castle. That was the first castle we went to before we went to Neuschwanstein Castle. And it was a pretty nice castle in its own, not nearly as big and wonderful as the other one. But anyways, and that was kind of like the summer home, like I said, of Ludwig II. And so Ludwig II would spend time in this castle as a child, and he would look at this hill kind of above. And from what I've read, like, you know, kind of almost like imagine what it'd be like to build. He loved the idea of building castles, and really cool eccentric castles. Anyways, was like a passion of his, I guess, in some sense. So he kind of, you know, imagined this, you know, huge nice castle on top of this hill. And then when his father died, the the king of Bavaria, because I think Germany was split into two, like Bavaria and is the bottom part, and the top part is more Moravia or something like that. Anyway, so it was actually split in two, and so he was the king of Bavaria. And when he died, Ludwig II, his oldest son, became king. And so when he became king, he lived in Hohenschwangau, and he started building this Neuschwanstein Castle close by. And they started building this in 1869, and completed it, I think, around 1886, I guess, 1885, 1886. And so it took a little while. And Ludwig II, actually, from what I've read, though, he spent his own money, like his own money that he inherited to build this castle. I think he also built two other castles in Germany that I didn't go to, but they're also kind of known for being very beautiful castles. But yeah, so I don't know if he designed it too, but man, he got a really cool design for this castle, built this beautiful castle. And it wasn't called Neuschwanstein until he died, but when he was still alive, I think it was just called the New Hohenschwangau Castle or something like that. And of course, Neuschwanstein Castle means New Swan's Castle, is what that means in English. So that's what they called it, actually, after he died, because the sad news is he spent like his life as a king building this castle, and it didn't even get finished. It wasn't totally finished, but he did go live in the castle, I think, for like a couple months, and then he died. So he spent this whole time just, oh man, just dreaming about this castle that he wanted to build, and he actually got to live in it for just a short time, and then he kind of mysteriously died, I guess, some way. I think he, if I remember right from the tour, he drowned or something like that. But it's like he drowned, like quotation marks, like they do believe that he was murdered. Some other nobles murdered him because they don't like the fact that he was spending all his time building castles instead of running the country. So I think there's some noble people that are very upset with him. I think that's the theory, that they probably murdered him. I don't know that for sure, but anyway, so he dies. And then when he died, they called it the Neuschwanstein Castle, and then it just became kind of nobody lived in the castle. It just became like a museum, which is really cool because it's so well preserved because nobody really lived in it. And obviously it's become one of the biggest tourist places in Germany, and tons of people go there every year, and for good reason. It's just a beautifully, I mean, he really went all out on this castle. And of course, if you look at the castle itself, the design is a design that's used a lot for other castles. Most famously, the Disney castle. Anytime you see the Disney logo and you see the castle that Disney does, Disney castle is based off of this castle. So very, very beautiful. And I feel like even Hogwarts schools almost seems like it's designed similar to this style. Definitely, this is like the castle that all other castles want to be. And if you're designing a castle, you look at this castle and go, yeah, we need a castle to look like that. That is a cool looking castle. Anyway, so yeah. So talking about that, yeah, and Louis II, interesting thing is he never got married. And he designed this castle, and I guess I should say, like, this is the front part of the castle, this red part. And I think I have a picture in the front that you'll see at the beginning of the video. But yeah, you go through here, anyways, to get into the castle. Like I said, you have a certain time, and you're with other people that have a certain time as you, and you go in and you do this grand tour, and you go through all these different rooms and stuff. But the castle is like, every single room is painted, like some kind of, motif painting, whatever. Like there's the throne room. You go in this throne room, and like the whole floor is painted with a bunch of animals like that. And I think it has something to do with Noah's Ark, if I remember right. It's like the story of Noah's Ark is like painted on the floor. I mean, all the walls are painted, all the ceilings. I mean, every inch of this castle has some kind of painting of something. That was what's so cool about the castle. I've never seen a castle like this or a building like this, where all the walls, all the floors, the ceilings, everything's painted something really cool. And he got a really good painter, I'm sure. I can't remember who it was that did all these paintings. And a lot of times they paint off like biblical stuff or whatever. The throne room is really cool though, and it's a really big room. They have like a throne in there that you can see where the king would have sat, if he would have lived there. Because this definitely would have been his home. Like I said, he built 3 castles, I think, in total, and this is like the castle that Ludwig II really loved and wanted to live in. It would have been his home. Like I say, he never got married, had any kids. And he really liked Richard Wagner, who was the famous German composer, did a lot of operas and stuff like that. And a lot of rooms that he has paintings from operas that Richard Wagner painted or composed. And so the paintings are like based off his operas that he did. So I remember that. That was kind of cool. Each room had like a theme to it, and had like, a cool bed. And even I remember there was like a sink that looked like a swan, because they're big on swans, That was really cool. You can't take any pictures inside the castle. That's why I don't have any pictures inside the castle, unfortunately. You have to like look it up. Maybe there might be a travel video maybe of somebody going through the castle. Better yet, just go to the castle and see it for yourself. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any videos or pictures inside. Man, it's such a cool looking castle. Everything. Anyways, so well furnished and everything, just, for tourism basically. But yeah, and Richard Wagner actually stayed some nights there as well. I think he had his own room that Ludwig II had for Richard Wagner. And the rumor was that Ludwig II was gay, and that he was in love with Richard Wagner, and they had like a gay relationship. It's not proven or anything, but that was the theory people had, because Ludwig II never got married and never had any kids. So of course, I think at that time, if you didn't get married, you're like, he must be gay, who knows? But yeah, so yeah, so the castle is just, man, so amazing. Every room you go, you get to see all these cool rooms, his room, other rooms. Like I said, the dining room, big, huge table, everything, chandeliers everywhere. I mean, yeah, is awesome. I remember one hallway, you walk through like one hallway, and if I remember right, there was like vines, like they grew vines on the walls. So you walk through this one cool hallway and you're like, all of a sudden it's like you're, going through a garden or something. It's like there's like, live plants and, vines growing on the wall. I know, it was really cool. I was like, wow, this was a cool idea for a hallway to go through. Anyway, so yeah, it was really cool design, really fun to go tour. And you see the pictures. It's a beautiful area with the out mountains, and there's like a lake there, as you saw. Yeah, it's so cool, so beautiful. Definitely the best castle I've ever been to, and one of the best experiences I've had. So yeah, I can't say much more, but yeah, definitely go visit Germany. Go to Hohenschwangau and visit the two castles, and you'll will thank me later. It's definitely worth the trip for seeing those two things. Anyways, I don't think I have much more to say about it. But yeah, that was one of my favorite trips. I got to take in 2008 and got to go see that, and with my mom. And my mom suggested it because she got to see it, I think, when she was a kid as well. So anyway, so thanks to my mom for taking me there and let me get to see something really, really cool and have a lifelong, memories and experience with. But anyway, besides that, thanks so much for watching this video. Tell me if you've seen this castle, if you know anything about Hohenschwangau and Neuschwanstein Castle. Love to hear your stories as well and your trips if you've ever been to Europe and all that. And so besides that, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for liking it. Thank you to all my subscribers for supporting the channel. I appreciate you all and hope you have a good day.